Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. My dear students of class 5, welcome to this new academic year 2020-2021. And the first chapter of English literature is right here in front of you, presented by your dear Pratik sir. After hearing this beautiful carol, can you now guess the name of the first chapter? I am all ears. What a guess! Yes! The name of the first chapter of English literature of academic year 2020-21 is A Merry Christmas. Now, when it comes to Christmas, what can you remember? What do you do on the eve of Christmas? Do you expect Santa Claus to bring you gifts? Or do you prepare mom to bake those cakes? When I was a kid, I always dreamt of Santa bringing me gifts on the eve of Christmas, and we always used to decorate our Christmas tree at home with tapestries and hangings and stockings. Christmas is always memorable for me, and I stay in Kolkata. You know, Kolkata is my native place, and since Kolkata was the home of the East India Company, we have got a cultural heritage. That's the reason on the day of Christmas, the city is beautifully lit up and decked up. So, our first chapter is A Merry Christmas. The story revolves around a family which stays in Boston, Massachusetts, which is a very beautiful city in the United States of America. Now, let me tell you that in Massachusetts, we have the famous Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. So, if there is anyone who wishes to do their masters after completing graduation in India, you can always opt for an engineering masters in MIT. Now, let me also tell you that the winters in Massachusetts are extremely cold and the temperatures may dip below the freezing point. On one such particular year, when this family was about to celebrate Christmas, a very interesting thing happened, and that is the theme of our chapter. This chapter talks a lot about Thanksgiving, sacrifices, and sharing. The central theme of our chapter is a lady who is the mother of 4 girls. Her name is Mrs. March. Mrs. March's husband was on war duty. He was a soldier in the US Army, and back then there was a civil war which was raging in the country. So these kids didn't have their father on the day of Christmas. However, let me introduce you to the 4 daughters. So this is Mrs. March, she is the mother. This is Jo, Meg, Beth, and Amy. And there is one more character in the story by the name Mrs. Hannah. Mrs. Hannah was the... Now, on the day of the Christmas, when Jo wakes up in the morning, she goes to the fireplace to see if there are any stockings. Now, stockings are basically used to put the gifts, and they are hung in the fireplace. But when she reaches there, to her utter dismay, she finds nothing. Now, this family is actually a middle class family. They may not be having all the luxuries of life, But yes, they are very happy as a family. But Joe was certain that their mother must have had kept some surprise for them. She came back from the fireplace and started searching in her room, and she suddenly found her gift. Joe got a book which was covered in a crimson cover. Now this is orange. Crimson means red. So she was very delighted. The book had life's best experiences. She immediately knocked her sister Meg and asked about her gift. Meg searched and found another book which had a green cover on it, but the content of the book was same. That is, life's best experiences. Now they were very, very excited and they woke the other two sisters. Amy said that she got a blue covered book. And Beth said that she got a book which had a dove colored cover on it. Now dove is like a pigeon. It's a symbol of peace. So it's like whitish yellow color kind of a book. So all of them received Christmas presents. Meg was very excited and she recommended all the sisters to read a page of the book daily because that's going to do a lot of good in their lives. Meg was a very beautiful girl, but she never boasted about her beauty. And this attribute impressed her sister, Jo. Jo and Meg were very closely knit with one another. They were very delicately bonded. They started reading from one single book. Looking at that, the other two sisters also started reading. Until one of them remembered their mother, Mrs. March, and all of them ran downstairs to search for their mother. When they came downstairs, they were met by the maid whose name was Mrs. Hannah. Mrs. Hannah was more than a maid. She was like a family friend because she lived with the March family for a long time. She said that their mother was out for some work and she would return soon. Until then, she recommended all the girls to bake the Christmas cake and prepare the basket of gifts for their mother. While they were doing it, suddenly they heard some footsteps and they were sure that their mother was coming. So they immediately hid the basket and we have Mrs. March in our story for the first time. She's a beautiful lady. She's the mother of the 4 girls and she comes and all the girls wish her Merry Christmas together. They're very delighted and they thank their mom for their wonderful gifts. And they urge their mother that they're very hungry and they should be having breakfast. However, the mother told them about a family which was staying next door, and that family was even poorer. That family had 6 mouths to feed with an ailing mother and few unfed children. So Mrs. March recommended the 4 girls to share their breakfast with these kids. Initially, they were a little reluctant because these 4 little children were very hungry, but Jo responded impetuously. Impetuously means at once. She prepared a basket with cream and muffins. As you know, muffins are cakes. Looking at her, Meg also got some food items like bread. Hannah also joined them and she carried some firewood. While they reached that family, they were given a warm welcome in German. Now here's a phrase which could be a little alien to you. It's pronounced as Ach, my God. It means, oh my God. Look we have got company in this year's Christmas. So they saw that the family was cold and were very hungry. There was an ailing mother and there were a lot of young children who were hungry for a long time. Hannah lit fire so that the family gets some warmth, and all of them started sharing whatever food items they've got. After this episode was complete, the lady of that poor family said another word in German. Die Angel Kinder means these are all angels who have come to share comfort, happiness, and food with all of us. They are all angels sent by God. Otherwise, who would care for a poor family like ours? When the girls heard that they were addressed as angels, their hearts were filled with joy. And they realized that even if you are hungry, food isn't the only happiness. There could be a deeper happiness which comes when you share. And as the mission and the motto of Divine Providence School, we should always care and share to grow. When they came home, Mrs. March told that they could now have breakfast, some milk and bread, and later at dinner time they could eat something more. But they were extremely delighted with this act of kindness on a special occasion of Christmas. Now they had their gifts ready for their mom. So they had a lot of new gifts for their mom. For example, the first thing that they handed to their mom was a handkerchief which had Amy's perfume on it. So it was smelling really good. Then Mrs. March's slippers were replaced by a new pair of slippers, and she also got a new pair of hand gloves. This is how the family celebrated Christmas. In this chapter, you will come across few German expressions. First, ach mein Gott means oh my God. Second, das ist gut. It means this is good. And finally, when the four kids went and shared their food with the poor kids, they were addressed as angels. So in German it is Die Angel Kinder, means these four are kind angels sent by God. With that, our first chapter in your English literature curriculum is over, my dear students. I hope you enjoyed the chapter. Please read the chapter once in your books and do let me know in case if you have any doubts. I'll be back soon to discuss the exercises with you. In this video, the mind map and few notes will also be shared with you. Until then, it's goodbye from Pratik sir and the March family. I hope you could draw a moral lesson out of this chapter. That is, to grow, we need to care and share. Bye guys. God bless you. Dear students, our first chapter is A Merry Christmas. The author's name is Louisa May Alcott, who was an American novelist. Little Women, 1868, is one of her best literary works. She was born during the American Civil War. She was active in writing about social reforms. The genre is autobiography. The characters include the March family, where we have Mr. March, who's a soldier in the US Army, and his wife, Mrs. March, who's a housewife and a very pious lady. 4 daughters, Joe, Meg, Amy, and Beth, and there is a maid called Miss Hannah. She is more than a maid, she's actually like a family member because she's been in the family for a long time, and the family is based in Boston, Massachusetts, US. The backdrop. The March family may not have all the luxuries of life, but they are pious. While Mr. March is on war duty, the 4 girls, Joe, Meg, Amy, and Beth, are searching from pillar to post for their Christmas present when they learn a valuable lesson taught to them by their mother, Mrs. March. Now here's a route map. I have classified it into 3 scenes for your understanding. Scene 1 starts on the day of Christmas. Jo searches for her gift and she finds a book in red cover, that is a crimson cover. She asks Meg, who finds a book in green cover, and Amy and Beth finds a book in blue and dove color respectively. This is the gift which all of them receive from their mom on the day of Christmas, and it's a book on the best experiences of life. Moving to scene 2, Meg recommends her sisters to read a page daily. The girls consider it to be the best Christmas present from their mother. And now the scene 3, when Mrs. March comes back home, she tells these girls about a family next door who doesn't have any plans for Christmas because they were suffering and hungry. So she asks the girl to share their Christmas breakfast with their poor neighbors. After this noble act, the poor family addressed the 4 girls as angels. That was an even bigger gift for them. And on this auspicious day of Christmas, they were taught the essential values of care, share, and grow. Thank you.